G'day everyone, it's Anth here from Rethink Marketing, and I've got Kingsley, our expert accountant here. And we've got a question which we've received recently, which is what happens if I don't put my BAS in? Now, apart from getting the phone calls which I'm getting from a robot every couple of days, which are telling me that I'm lodged with the Australian Crime Authority and will be going to jail if I don't pay my bill and Amazon cards. What really happens, Kingsley? Can you give us a quick rundown?
Well, I guess the key thing here is, and COVID kind of muddies the water a little bit because they're being a little bit more lenient than what they otherwise would. But given that they can tell we're in Western Australia, so you might find the attitude to us is a bit harder than what it might be to some poor devil in New South Wales. But the key first thing to bear in mind, of course, is if you don't lodge, you get a penalty for not lodging. So that sort of, I won't lodge until I think I've got the money to pay, and they won't notice, and I'll get away with it approach, of course, doesn't work because it's all computer generated. It was supposed to be lodged by this particular date. It wasn't lodged. Here's the penalty. And the thing about the penalties particularly is, of course, is that they can't forgive those typically versus the interest on the bills. Potentially they can. So you are better off to lodge on time and then say, look, sorry guys, I don't have the $15,000 on me right now to pay it. Can I set up a payment plan? And then you are probably going to get some interest, but not the penalty. And then again, no guarantees. But if you enter into a payment plan, honour it, or perhaps even if you're lucky enough, get things improving, you might even be able to pay it a little bit quicker at the end or something. It would certainly be worth the phone call and to say, look, how about you knock off the interest? And a lot of times people succeed in that. Not always. Again, it's going to depend on your history and did you honour the plan and so on and so forth. So it is best to lodge, even though you sort of feel like, now I'm telling them that I haven't got enough money and whatever else. And you feel like you're sort of dogging yourself into the headmaster at school, but it is still going to be a better long run outcome. The other trap, I suppose, and to some degree they've got a little bit better, but if you don't ring up, the wheels generally in the tax office turn a bit slowly on. Even though the computer is now lodged, it's not, recognised you did not lodge on time and probably automatically generated the penalty. But in terms of getting the phone call, sometimes there's significant delays in that, and that creates a sense of I've got away with it when really you haven't. And that's where that sort of psychology comes from a little bit.
There's an element of reputation, I guess, which they look at with these things too. So if you get away with it once, the chances of being a second or third time that you can do it, they start to get fairly cranky when there's a bit of a bad pattern of delayed lodgement, isn't there?
Yes, it is. And every time that I've had to ring up on a client's behalf and say, can I get a payment plan for Bill Bloggs? Always they go and check the record. So it's there, they can see it, they say, hang on, Bill Bloggs, we gave him a payment plan 3 times and he hasn't honoured it, sort of thing, and you're instantly on the back foot.
They look at those payment plans from a perspective of saying, if you have got a payment plan and then you come to the next quarter and you haven't got the money or you don't lodge, that can invalidate those payment plans too, can't it?
Yes, it is. That's the other another little well-meaning trap people sometimes fall into is again, let's say you're on $10,000 and you can't pay it right away. I always tell clients, go and get the longest payment plan they'll possibly give you. And maybe that's 10 lots of $1,000 for argument's sake over 10 months, rather than I reckon I can, if I really, really live off baked beans on toast, I might be able to pay them off in 3 months. and I'll impress them when I ring them up by how fast I'm going to pay them back. And what will happen in that scenario is if you've got two sort of clients, one going my way, the 10 months way, and someone has gone the 3 months way, is the 3 months person, well-intentioned, but can't pull that off, as it turns out, and ends up, in and out paying it off, and ends up paying it in 10 months also. My client just said, I'll do it in 10 and did it in 10. My client gets a tick. The other guy gets a cross next to his name, even though he paid it off in the same time frame. So you're much better off to get the easiest one you can. And if it gets easy, business starts going well, you can give them a pleasant surprise at the end. But don't box yourself into this barely plausible payment plan. Get the longest one they'll let you have. The interest is high, but it is tax deductible. So it's running about 7% currently. So it is tax deductible. So that's something. The other if I can give a little insider tip that I don't think the tax office will ever officially say, is when you've seen a few payment plans, that if the monthly interest, it appears, if the monthly interest is less than $100 a month, it will go on, and you've been sticking to your plan, you've got a good record, that when you look at your account in the tax office, $100 will be put on and then it'll be automatically taken off. As long as you're honouring your payment plan and so forth. So that works out to be about, if you had a debt of about $17,000, so a fair amount of money. So if I had a client that owes the tax office $20,000, I'd be saying to them, if at all possible, can you pay a bit of a lump sum down to 17, so that you'll not get any interest, and and then stick your payment plan thereafter, rather than ringing them up and saying, "Oh, can I get a payment plan on 20 and I'm going to do $1,000 a month for 20 months?"
Yeah.
See if you can get yourself under that threshold. And again, when your first one comes through, if you see, interest is $103. Try and pay that little bit more just to get rid of that $3 and push yourself under. So that's a little cunning one.
So I guess the short version of today's story is ostriches end up in trouble. If you've got a problem, be upfront, get your return, get your BAS in, and that same applies for your annual returns as well. And individuals, I'd imagine, it'd be pretty much the same story.
Yes.
And if you need it, ask for a payment plan. Your accountant's a great person to start with, and if you're looking for an accountant, I would suggest that Kingsley's an ideal person to have a chat to in this space, and move forward with it, everyone, because I think that's at the core to it, is being upfront with where you're at. They've got a pretty good idea with data matching these days of where you're actually sitting before you even put it in. So.
Yeah, I've never seen a client end up better off for trying to be sneaky and not sticking their hand. It's never worked, and there's also that additional trap of I'll wait till I've got enough dough, and what happens? They get to their next BAS and they haven't got enough to fully pay that one out as well. So now they've missed two. They've got 2 fines and 2 strikes. It's
I've never seen anyone at the casino double their money when they've lost it and keep putting it down. So it's that same sort of thinking never works. Be upfront, move forward. If you've got a problem, acknowledge it and go forward. That brings us to the end for today. So thank you very much, Kingsley, and we'll look forward to another interesting topic next week. Thank you very much, everyone.
No, see ya.